Storybook Project. This book is written by Jennifer Koldenko. Al Capone Does My Curse is a Newbery Award winner. Our story begins when Moose Flanagan and his older sister Natalie moved to Alcatraz. Alcatraz is an island in the San Francisco Bay. Moose and his family moved here because Moose's dad gets a job as a prison guard. The only reason his dad took the job is because it is the Depression and his family really needs the money. Alcatraz is the prison where convicts who have committed the worst crimes go to. The reason the worst criminals go to Alcatraz is because the waters surrounding the island are full of sharks. Therefore, escaping from Alcatraz is very hard. Moose's older sister Natalie is seriously autistic. It really affects what Moose can do, and what Moose's family can do because they have to always be worrying about Natalie. Natalie's family tries to enroll her in a boarding school so Natalie can get help and counseling. Unfortunately, this school only admits children who are in the age range of 6 to 12 years. Natalie's family, however, decides to lie about Natalie's age, hoping that the headmaster will believe it. They say Natalie is 10, but Natalie has been 10 for 5 years. Unfortunately for Moose's family, they see right through Moose's family's trick and rejects Natalie from the boarding school, saying Natalie is 5 years too old. When Moose starts his new school in Alcatraz, he really just doesn't know what to expect. He only knows one thing about the school. Only 23 kids go to it. He was surprised to find his first day at this new school went very well. Moose found out on his first day of school that the kids play a lot of baseball in Alcatraz. After school, the children play baseball on the blacktop. Moose decides to join the league because he played a lot of baseball at his old school. He surprises all the kids on Alcatraz when, during his first at-bat, he hits a home run. Unfortunately for Moose, he has to drop out of the league because he needs to watch his sister. The next day, while Moose was walking home from school, a girl from his class named Piper catches up with him. When Moose sees this girl for the first time, his first opinion is that she is pretty. Immediately, he has a crush on Piper. Piper is the daughter of the warden on that island, so she is kind of stuck up because nobody will stand up to her. If anybody were to complain about her, their parents would get in a lot of trouble with the warden. Piper then offers Moose to join a business with her and some other kids at school. They plan on charging kids around the island 5 cents to have their shirts washed by the notorious gangster Al Capone. With a suspicious tone, he says yes. He doesn't know if this is a trick, and he does not know if he should be doing this. A week later, the warden calls everyone involved in the business of charging people to have their shirts washed by Al Capone to his office immediately. Piper, Moose, and some other kids all go to the warden's office to see him. The warden tells them that they have to return all the money to the kids that paid to have their shirts washed by Al Capone and never do something like that again or their fathers will be fired. Of course, the warden did not mean he would fire himself because Piper, even though she was part of it, Piper is his daughter. Moose decides later that it would be a good idea to probably stay away from Piper's scheming. One day, while Moose and Natalie were out for a walk near the dock, Moose finds something that interests him, and he stops paying attention to Natalie, which is probably a mistake. When Moose remembers that Natalie is with him, he quickly gets up and calls Natalie's name. To his astonishment, she is out of sight. After a few seconds, he notices Natalie is behind a bush with someone. When Moose yells at Natalie to get out from behind the bush, Natalie comes back from behind the bush, and following her is a con. Will is totally surprised by this, and he yells at the con some curse words that I cannot say here. The con laughed at Moose when he swore. Then he took out a baseball and handed it to Moose. Moose took it with astonishment. He now had a convict baseball, and on Alcatraz they were worth a lot of money since they were so rare. The convict left after that. The reason a convict baseball is so rare is because they are such a rare find and they are rarely hit outside of convict boundaries. After Natalie's encounter with the con, Moose decides he really needs to get Natalie into that boarding school because he isn't sure how safe Alcatraz is for Natalie. So he decides to write to Al Capone asking him for help. With the help of Piper, he writes Al Capone a letter explaining the situation of his sister and telling him that he really needs his help getting into the school. 2 weeks later, Moose finds a piece of paper in his clothes. He takes it out of his clothing and reads it. The paper reads, "Done," and the words underlined 3 times. Then, that next day, the boarding school sends Moose's family a message of acceptance to the boarding school. Moose's family became very happy because of this letter.